The chief correspondent is back, which means breaking news. What have you got?
Liverpool fans are once again fuming after what can only be described as a shocking refereeing decision robbed them of a clear penalty in their latest match, sparking widespread anger and debate across the footballing world. In a game where every detail mattered, the denial of a Stonewall spot kick not only damaged Liverpool's chances of victory but also reignited ongoing concerns about the standard of officiating and the effectiveness of VAR in the Premier League. The controversial moment unfolded in the second half, with Liverpool pressing hard in search of a breakthrough. A slick move led to one of their forwards being brought down inside the box following what replays clearly showed to be a mistimed challenge from the defender. Instead of pointing to the spot, the referee waved play on, ignoring the furious appeals of the Liverpool players. To add insult to injury, VAR, which was supposedly introduced to correct such errors, remained silent and failed to intervene. For many fans and pundits, the decision was inexplicable. Television replays showed that the defender never touched the ball, instead making heavy contact with the Liverpool attacker's leg. The forward's fall looked natural and inevitable given the force of the challenge, leaving observers baffled as to how the referee could have judged otherwise. Prominent commentators immediately called it a blatant penalty, with several analysts pointing to similar incidents earlier in the season where penalties were awarded for far lighter challenges. The inconsistency only served to intensify the anger, fueling accusations that Liverpool have been repeatedly on the wrong end of big decisions. The reaction from the touchline mirrored the frustration on the pitch. Liverpool's manager, known for his passion and animated presence, was visibly incensed, directing his fury toward the fourth official and shaking his head in disbelief. His post-match remarks made clear that he felt robbed, though he carefully avoided language that could attract disciplinary action from the FA. Fans, however, were under no such restrictions. Social media exploded within minutes, with hashtags accusing referees of bias and incompetence trending worldwide. Clips of the incident were shared millions of times as fans across the globe expressed disbelief at the injustice. The spotlight quickly turned to VAR, the system that was introduced with the promise of eliminating clear and obvious errors from the game. Critics argued that if such a glaring foul could go unpunished despite video review technology, then the system itself has lost its credibility. Some suggested that VAR is being used to shield referees from scrutiny rather than to uphold fairness. Calls for releasing referee and VAR room audio grew louder, with pundits insisting that transparency is the only way to restore trust in officiating. Former professionals joined the chorus, with one retired defender remarking that in his playing days, challenges like that were always given as penalties without hesitation. On the field, the effect of the incident on Liverpool's performance was undeniable. The players' sense of injustice was evident as frustration seeped into their game. Attacks lost their sharpness, misplaced passes began to creep in, and the sense of control they had been building evaporated. The opposition, meanwhile, took advantage of Liverpool's anger and lack of focus, growing in confidence and seizing the momentum. In a match that was finely poised, such a controversial decision effectively shifted the balance, leaving Liverpool chasing the game in increasingly difficult circumstances. The sense of déjà vu only compounded the pain for Liverpool supporters. This is far from the first time the club has been at the center of refereeing controversy this season. Several previous matches have been marred by questionable decisions, from dubious offside calls to missed fouls in crucial areas of the pitch. Fans argue that these incidents are not isolated but part of a worrying trend that undermines the fairness of competition. While every club suffers from poor officiating at times, Liverpool's supporters feel particularly hard done by, pointing to the frequency and magnitude of the decisions that have gone against them. Beyond the emotional impact, the consequences of such decisions can be severe in the wider context of the season. The Premier League title race is often decided by fine margins, with just a point or two separating the champions from the runners-up. To have potential points snatched away by officiating errors adds another layer of frustration. For Liverpool, who are desperate to reclaim the league crown, every decision matters, and being denied a clear penalty in such circumstances could ultimately prove costly. The wider football community has once again been forced into heated debate about how to improve officiating standards. Suggestions range from retraining referees and introducing stricter accountability measures to overhauling VAR altogether. Some fans have even called for foreign referees to be brought into the Premier League to raise the standard, a radical but increasingly discussed idea. What unites all these voices is the demand for change. The current situation, where clear fouls are ignored and technology fails to correct obvious mistakes, is unsustainable and damaging to the sport's credibility. For Liverpool, the immediate task will be to put the anger behind them and refocus on their next fixtures. The players and coaching staff know that dwelling too long on injustices can derail a season, no matter how legitimate the grievances may be. Yet it will be difficult to forget the feeling of being robbed in a moment that could have changed everything. Supporters, meanwhile, will continue to voice their outrage, ensuring that the controversy is not swept under the rug. At the heart of football is the promise of fairness, the belief that the better team on the day will be rewarded. When that promise is broken by refereeing errors and the failure of technology, the integrity of the game itself is called into question. Liverpool's denied penalty will go down as yet another example of how officiating controversies continue to overshadow the sport's most important contests. Until decisive reforms are implemented, fans will keep asking the same painful question: how many more times will their team be robbed before real change arrives?